Ha 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 ha. So today is October 31st. Happy Halloween everyone. So today is the Halloween celebration video on this channel. So I have made a story and I've dressed up in a costume for the first time on this channel. Unlike last time, I only had a mask on, which was the Batman mask. I could not find any costume, but this time I was able to find one and I've made it. So my costume theme for this year is a mad scientist. So I've worn my lab coat with my goggles, which is the eye protection. So I'm ready to do some science experiments, which is not the case. But I have a really interesting story which is spookier, which is actually 10 times scarier than the last time. So buckle up, put your Halloween goggles on, and let the hunt for the story begin. So I'm gonna first remove these goggles. First, these are extremely tight and then they fog up my vision. Okay, let's begin the story. So the name of the story is Black Echo, a Halloween horror. Dr. Carl Will was a reclusive physicist obsessed with quantum resonance and acoustic anomalies. After years of ridicule, he vanished. Last seen boarding a private aircraft from a aircraft, a remote airstrip in Cavros Ridge. The plane, which was a turboprop modified one called the Echo 1, was equipped with experimental sonic sensors designed to detect dimensional echoes, sound from the alternate realities, which means it was designed to detect anomalies and it was also designed to detect whatever was coming along its path. So, next, on Halloween night, 5 years later, Echo 1 reappeared. It landed autonomously at Virella Terminal. No pilot, no passengers, the cabin was sealed. The fuselage was scorched with strange symbols and the cockpit instruments were frozen. So this plane has time traveled from 5 years ago to this year's Halloween, and now it has reappeared. It has landed automatically. The instruments are all frozen. Nothing is working, but it has still landed. But we are going to know what will happen. So let's get deeper into the story. Mid transition, the final log entry rigged. So this is a short story, but really interesting one. Entering harmonic corridor, voices detected. Not alone. A recovery team opened the hatch inside after hundreds of struggle efforts, which means the plane was obviously pressurized because it was, like a modified one, which means it was equipped with uh, state of the art pressurization systems which no one could open. But somehow these people, the recovery team people, has opened the hatch inside. Now let's go inside the cabin. The cabin was pristine, which was very clean, no shattering of glass or nothing, except for a single object, a tape recorder, which was kind of the olden days tape recorder which you would see in movies or anything. Still running, the voice on the tape was Dr. Will's, but it was distorted, layered with whispers and scream. I hear them. They fly without wings. They speak in thunder. They know my name. Suddenly, the plane's engine roared to life. Hmm. The hangar lights flickered. The tape reversed itself, playing a message in language no one could recognize. So it played a message in an unknown language which no one of the rescue team could recognize, but they did not know if it was Dr. Will's language or if it was given to the recorder by him to play, but that is still on the dark side. One technician collapsed bleeding from the ears. So this shows that it's a really scary story of Dr. Wills. So that's why the technician collapsed. He was bleeding from his ears, blood coming from his 2 ears. Also, he was unconscious. Oh, sorry, I had to adjust my camera. Anyway, let's get back into the story. Another began speaking in tongues, claimed to be the pilot of the void. So that then the other technician who seems to be possessed by whatever the thing, he started to speak in unknown languages, but there was one sentence he told that was the pilot of the void. The plane lifted again without fuel, burst through and vanished into a thundercloud shaped like a spell. Radar showed it flying in patterns that match ancient Velen star maps. So, what this means is that the plane automatically started its engines, although there was no fuel. no instruments, nothing. The door closed and they started to move. So but there was radar in the airport which was tracking the plane's path, and there was something which shocked all of them. That was the flying patterns of the plane matched Velen star map. So Velen is a imaginary city name which I came up with. And then let's get back. Now every Halloween, Echo 1 returns for exactly 13 minutes. So as you know, 13 is a very unlucky number, so it's associated with Halloween. So yeah, Echo 1 returns exactly 13 minutes. It lands, broadcasts a new message and disappears. Each time the voice is more human, more familiar. Last year it said, Carl is gone, but I remain. I am the echo and I am listening and learning. So this is it for the story. So anyway, now that we have not finished or anything, I want to tell why I came up with this costume, and at the end of the video we're going to be reacting to last year Halloween's video, and we are going to look at the changes which is going to be done in this year's video versus the last year one. So it's going to be quite interesting. So anyways, I've turned on the left side spotlight which makes visibility and clarity even more better. So now let's tell why I even chose this costume in the first place. You see, every year I dress up as Halloween, some sort of monster or silly, stupid, creepy looking creature. But this time and last time, because those were the first two times, these two were the first two times I actually had to, do it in a proper way to represent to the people who are watching the video, which means I had to do it properly to the ones who would be watching my channel on YouTube. So I wanted to do it something a little more better than last time, but last time there was one problem. If you've seen the video, you could have remembered that there was one big problem. I had a mask on, but I could not find a costume. That was because all the sizes for me were either too big, which was the adult size, or too small, which was the baby or the kid size, and none of those even fit me well. The adult size is too big, I shrink in that. I literally do not fit in that, and the baby size, I nothing works. So that's why I decided it's okay. Nothing is it's better than nothing. The mask, I put it on and then I do the video. But this year it's a different. I had this lab coat of mine lying at home, so I decided why not put it to good use. So it was there for a while. So I gave it a good wash, a good clean, and then I wore it today. And the goggles, which is actually my swimming goggles, which I don't use right now, so I've used it for the eye protection. And so this is how my Halloween costume as a mad scientist was born. So anyway, since now I've talked about the costume and last year versus this year, right now on my phone and go to my channel. Okay, and yeah. So now, this is how the video started. Hello everyone, welcome to another interesting video. So in today's video, as I told you I'm sorry, I'm gonna turn off the subtitles. This auto subtitles just I don't like it at all. In video I have dressed up as Batman with a mask. So the laptop which I'm filming in right now, which has all those editor, the special effects, the music one, is the same laptop which I used for last time to do it, because it has this amazing video editing software which I'm gonna talk about in another video with sound effects. So it really enhances my videos. So I'm also learning professional video editing skills. So once I mastered those, my videos are gonna be 100 times better. I will be not doing any technical videos, and I'll be telling you a ghost story. A ghost story, a about aircraft. It's very spooky. So get yourself ready for the ghost story, and I have narrated it myself. I have narrated it in front of the mirror just for like a rehearsal, and of course I have wrote the story myself, because when you're writing a story and you're narrating it, it has to be. Sorry for the interruption. Just a quick reminder, I have added this new feature which is called the watermark subscribe button, which you can see on this side, which is the, I'm gonna get it closer to you, which is the penguin pilot holding the control column. So please check out that and press that subscribe button. We are just 4 subscribers away from getting 100 subscribers, so let's get the video done. Our own idea only. So today it's not Captain Naman who's narrating the story, but it's Batman who's narrating the story, since he's my favorite superhero, and the story is in my mobile and I could not buy my. Was not working at that time, so I had to reset my fingerprint, so I used the password. I actually forgot what story it was. Now we're going to the app where it's stored. Okay, scrolling up. Okay, the story name is obviously the one which I came up with. This was called the Phantom Flight. Oh yeah, Phantom Flight. So that was where I think the pilot would have a crash and then he would write in his diary or something like that. So I forgot. So let's see what it's up That to. Today's story. 3. So I had this witch screaming one. The Phantom Flight. It was a stormy Halloween night when Flight 666 took off from a small fog-covered airport. An aircraft, a very old Boeing 747-200, which has crashed approximately 30 years, had a reputation among the crew for being haunted. Strange noises, flickering lights, and sudden chills were common occurrences, but no one could ever explain them. Scrolling down. Okay. So that was when I had started narrating these stories. So I had to make one up, so that would just be kind of a kickstart for whatever the Halloween video I was going to be doing, but this time, as I've said, it's 10 times better. So I'm gonna add even more sound effects, even more like those scary things. Ghost will pop up in the middle of the videos. So yeah, anyways, over 30 years of experience was at the controls. As the plane ascended into the cold night grey sky, the turbulent sky, the passengers settled in for what would be an uneventful flight. They hoped it would be uneventful, but little did they know this journey was going to be nothing but extraordinary. So just at the point when I told the suspense would build up, the point where they did not know, that time a scary music pops up. So that was one of the sound effects. That was just the, like, how can I say, the basic level of video editing and sound effects. An hour into the flight, when the plane hit a patch of severe turbulence, the plane began to shake, the lights began to flicker, and the cabin was plunged into darkness by an electrical failure. For a few seconds, when the lights came back on and when the crew restarted their generators, a chilling I think it's the time when it was a ghostly figure dressed in an old-fashioned 1940s pilot's uniform. His eyes was hollow. One minute, please. His eyes was hollow but lifeless. The figure began moving slowly towards the cockpit, passing through seats and passengers and not even noticing them, as if they were die shadows. Panic spread through the cabin, but it was the calmness and coolness of Captain John when he heard the stories of the phantom pilot, a spirit of the sky set to haunt aircrafts, seeking revenge for a tragic accident that occurred decades ago. Determined to confront that ghost, Captain John switched on the autopilot and left the cockpit and approached the ghost. As soon as he got closer and the ghost came in contact with Captain John, the temperature dropped to minus 10 degrees centigrade. So, I don't know if you've seen this in ghost stories or ghost movies. So, I have seen this in a lot of movies. Whenever a person or something or a ghost comes into a place, the temperature drops. It's because of that, that force and that thing of the paranormal. So, let's get back to it. The temperature dropped violently and he could see his breath in the cold air. The ghostly pilot turned face to face him with eye contact and in a voice that echoed with sorrow, anger, spookiness, he spoke. Why do you disturb my external flight? The ghost asked. Well, the ghost began telling the story. I was once a pilot like you, Mr. Captain, until a fateful night when my plane, this exact same aircraft, crashed in 1977 due to a mechanical failure, and I have been trapped in the world ever since, reliving that night over and over, he said cryingly. Captain John, his voice steady but filled with empathy and sorrow, replied, we mean you no harm, spirit of the skies. We're just trying to reach our destination safely. Is there anything we can do to help you to find peace or salvation? The ghostly pilot's expression softened and he began with a smile. There is one thing. If you go to the coordinates of 70 degrees northwest, 50 degrees east and 75 degrees south, there is a wreckage of a plane. There is a logbook. It contains the truth about what happened that night. If you can land at that abandoned airface and find that wreckage, retrieve it and bring it back to the light and show it in front of the light for 5 seconds, my spirit can finally rest, he said. With that, the ghost vanished, leaving behind a sense of calm, but Captain John was determined to face what the ghost had told him, so he had already got the coordinates from the ghost. He switched over his autopilot heading to the coordinations the ghost gave. He landed there. Once he landed, he and some of the passengers who volunteered to help began to finding the logbook, and it was not long before they found the logbook. And what happened was they read the story and began taking it towards the plane, and they switched on all the exterior lights, set it to and they kept it in the light for 5 seconds just like the ghost had told them. Once that was there, the ghost appeared and he said, you have brought salvation to my spirit and I'm leaving now. Hope your flight will continue really well, he said. The rest of the flight was uneventful as Captain John took off from that abandoned airfield, never to come back again, and he set for his final destination, and hours later the crew landed safely at their final destination. Captain John, true to his word, launched an investigation into the old crash, and eventually he got to know the truth. The truth which was revealed, clearing the ghost pilot's name and allowing his spirit to find peace. But what Captain John found was really interesting. When he did the research, the spirit of the skies, he got to know that there was a real pilot who died in 1977 and his name was Henry. So So Henry got into a plane crash with that 747-200. So that was the time when the salvation comes to that the dead aviator, and then he launches an investigation. So let's see what happens next. And when its instruments malfunctioned and when it crashed, some others came to the airfield and repaired it and put it back there, and that was the abandoned airfield we were talking about. From that night on, Flight 666, which was no longer haunted and still serviced by the same 747-200 with Captain John flew and which Captain Henry the Spirit flew, was no longer haunted, and the story of the Phantom Flight became a legend told by pilots including Captain John and his first officer, the passengers, and reminder of mysteries and stories of Henry's plane crash of 1977 still remains in the mouths of people today. So this is my Halloween story. Hope you enjoyed it. So at the last, it's sorry. At the last, it's a happy ending. So that's why a happy Halloween pumpkin lantern with jumps comes to the play. So that is the it. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. So, and it's not Captain Naman signing off. It's Scientist Naman signing off. So have a nice day and happy Halloween.